The photo hits our family group chat at 4:12 p.m. Paris, grinning, holding a manila envelope like a diploma. The caption from my dad says, "She did it!" 2 minutes later, my mom follows with a screenshot of the county portal. $146 due. Parcel number ending in 2183. Under it, she types, "You've got this, right?" My name is Cassandra Stevens. I'm 31, the older sister, and I do medical billing for a pediatric clinic in Raleigh. I rent a one-bedroom on the second floor of a 1970s building 10 minutes from the house I grew up in. The house my parents just deeded to my sister Paris, who is 26 and works part-time as a salon assistant. We all live in Wake County. The family house is in a subdivision called Maple Ridge with an HOA that loves mailers and fines. For the last 2 years, because we're family, I've mowed their yard on Saturdays, kept the Wi-Fi under my name, and let a $55 monthly pest control draft from my account so nobody had to think about palmetto bugs. They called it keeping things stable. They meant for Paris. I stare at my mom's "You've got this, right?" and feel something small and mechanical shift inside me. A clean click. The reflex they expect, the yes, the instant autopay, the quiet handling, doesn't fire. I type, "Ask the owner." Dad reacts with a thumbs up emoji, like that makes it a team decision. Paris drops a stream of celebratory emojis and OMG yes homeowner. She doesn't acknowledge the 17746ers. I put my phone face down on the kitchen counter and look at the pile of mail I haven't opened yet. A coupon for oil changes, a PTA fundraiser flyer the last tenant didn't forward. Out my window, a man in a red hoodie loads groceries from his trunk, the normal world chugging along. At 4:25, Mom calls. I don't answer. If I hear her voice, I'll end up saying, "Sure, just this once, and we'll be here again next month, then next year." Instead, I open my laptop and pull up the logins I shouldn't still have memorized. The water utility, the pest control company, the internet provider, my name, my card, my address tied to their usage. All of it made sense when I was living there during the pandemic, and my parents were between jobs when Paris needed a hand starting at the salon. But I moved out last spring, and none of those charges moved out with me. I text one thing to the group thread so it's in writing. "Congrats, Paris. I'm not paying for what I don't own." A pause. Then Paris. "Wow. Okay." Savage on my day. Mom. "Cassie, it's just taxes, and then we'll figure the rest out." Dad. "Can you help your sister be set up for success instead of making it harder?" I type. Delete. Type again. Keep it short. I won't be paying the bills for that address anymore. No exclamation point. No apology. I toggle off autopay on the pest control site and send a quick cancellation email to their office so there's a timestamp. I remove my card from the water portal, but leave the account number in their name field blank on purpose. They can add their own. The internet provider wants me to call to transfer service. I set a reminder for tomorrow and close the tab before the hold music starts looping in my head. My phone buzzes. Paris, separately now. "You always do this to me, on a day that's supposed to be happy." I stare at that sentence until it blurs. 2 summers ago, I pulled dandelions with my bare hands so her brunch pictures looked nice. Last winter, I paid the internet bill so her streaming didn't get cut off during a snow day. Last month, I replaced a hose that cracked in the cold. None of it made her day happy. It just erased the parts she didn't want to manage. I'm not cruel. I heat up frozen ravioli and watch half an episode of a baking show while the sun slides down. When I check my phone, there's a photo from my dad of the deed recorded. Paris's name where theirs used to be. "We're doing this for her future," he writes. Not a thanks, not a plan, just a soft order dressed as virtue. I reply to the group. Again, ask the owner. Paris sends a single eye roll emoji and goes quiet. Mom tries one more time. We'll talk this weekend. Love you. I put the thread on mute. My apartment is quiet except for the humming fridge. I take a pen and write boundaries at the top of a notepad. Then under it, 3 lines. Pest control $55, Wi-Fi $79, water varies. 2 years of little things while they told me we were a team. I wash my dish. I close my laptop. For once, nothing in my body is rushing to fix anything. 2 days later, at 9:03 a.m., my phone lights up with a new group text. It's Mom. Water says past due. 2 days after the D text, at 9:03 a.m., Mom drops water says past due into the group chat like it's a mystery nobody can solve. I don't answer right away. I'm at my kitchen counter with coffee, my laptop open. I log into the city water portal. The account shows 68 Fort Torin past due. Due date last Friday. A yellow banner that says delinquent disconnection scheduled if unpaid. The account name is still Dad's. My card is gone. Good. He added me as a saved payment method last year. I took it off 2 days ago. I take a screenshot of the past due screen, another of the payment methods tab showing no payment methods on file, and save them in a desktop folder I titled Boundaries. New subfolder, Water. In the group chat, I type, Paris needs to call Water and put a card on file. 3 dots from Mom. Then, can you just pay it now and we'll figure out the rest? I reply, ask the owner. It sits there. Dad reacts with a little exclamation bubble. Paris types nothing. I move through the rest of the cleanup like it's my job. Pest control. Open the confirmation email from Monday. Auto draft canceled effective immediately, and forward it to myself with the subject cancel confirmed. Then drop a PDF into Boundaries Taos Pest. Yesterday, I used my reminder to call the internet provider before work. I scheduled a disconnect at the end of the billing cycle for the house and moved the service to my apartment only where it belongs. They gave me a confirmation number. I took a picture of the rep's name, scribbled on a sticky note, because I've learned not to trust anyone's system. Mom calls. I watch the screen until it stops buzzing. I know if I hear her voice, I'll be explaining feelings instead of facts. The chat pings again. Dad, we're not trying to make this hard. We're trying to help your sister be set up for success. It's the same script. Dressed up as wisdom, I mute the thread. It's 9:25. I lace my sneakers and take a loop around my complex to bleed off the twitchy part of me that wants to drive over there and slide my card back in like a guilty magic trick. Pine pollen dusts the sidewalk. A dog drags its owner past the pool gate. My phone vibrates in my pocket. I don't look. Back upstairs, I make oatmeal and finally check. Paris has texted me separately. You always do this when I need you most. I type, I stopped paying your bills, that's it. Then I delete it. She doesn't need a speech. I leave her on red and open the water portal again, just to check the countdown. Disconnection could happen any time after Thursday if unpaid. There's a contact us number in bold. I don't call. It isn't my account. At lunch, I step outside the clinic and sit on the low brick wall by the employee lot, fork in a Tupperware of leftover ravioli. The muted badge on the group thread shows 7 messages. I tap it long enough to see previews. Mom has moved to the appeal. It's just $68, Cass. We'll transfer the internet next week. Don't be petty. Dad, we will reimburse you this time. Paris, finally. Literally heartless. I put my phone face down on my knee and picture last July instead. Me in shorts and gloves that kept slipping, pulling dandelions out from between the sidewalk cracks because she texted, brunch at 12. Can you make the front look cute? I remember the sting in my fingers after, The hose that split 2 months later. The 1999 replacement I didn't even mention. When I finish eating, I forward myself one more thing. A photo of the pest control invoice history with my card masked out and dates circled. Boundaries Pest History. It's not about building a case. It's about not losing the plot. At 3:40, I get a calendar ping for a late claim call. I take it, hang up, and open the county tax portal from Mom's screenshot out of morbid curiosity. 1,746 growlers still due. A red note says, penalty applied after 5 calls p.m. No card on file, no surprise. I drive home through 5 o'clock traffic, past the turn that would take me into Maple Ridge. I don't take it. I don't need to stand on their porch to prove a point. I let the light change. I go straight. When I park at my building and cut the engine, my phone lights up. It's a text from a number saved as Maple Ridge next door from when I lived there for a bit after college. No name, just the number. A photo fills the screen. The family house front door, weathered blue paint with an orange paper taped at eye level. In all caps, notice of disconnection, water service, call to avoid interruption. Under the photo, the neighbor's message. Saw this when I walked my dog, thought you should know. I stare at it for a second. The sky over the parking lot is turning the color of a grapefruit. My thumb hovers between forwarding and deleting. I save the photo to Boundaries Water instead and text the group one line. Paris, this is yours to handle. Mom calls at 7:22 p.m., voice already shaky. It's just this one last thing, Cass. Pay the water so they don't shut it off, and we'll figure the rest out this weekend. The orange notice photo is still fresh in my head. Which last thing is last this time? I ask. I keep my tone even. If I sound angry, she'll hear only that. I don't want to fight, she says. Your sister is overwhelmed. This is supposed to be a happy week. Then she needs to call the water department, I say. It's in Dad's name. She can add her card and pay the $68.14. I'm not the owner. Silence. A wet breath. We're doing the best we can for her future. I know, I say, and I'm doing the best I can for mine. After we hang up, I open my laptop and pull up my bank's export page. The Boundaries folder is on my desktop. I add a new spreadsheet called Ledger and start going line by line through my statements with the slow, fussy patience I use at work when a claim won't post. Pest control first. The charge is easy to find. $55 from ClearShield every month. I scroll back. I lived in the house during the pandemic. I'm not counting that period. I start at last May, the month after I moved into my apartment. 11 drafts since then, 1 every month. In August, they missed an appointment and credited a skip, so 10 payments actually cleared in the last 11 months. 10 times $55 is $550, plus the one they charged in September after the credit. We're at $605. I type ClearShield Pest, Maymar, 11 charges, $55 each, 1 credit. SAR, 605, SAR. Next tab, Internet. I scroll to the house address on the account profile to make sure I'm pulling the right line. 10 full months since I moved out, $79 base each month. I don't include taxes and fees. I'm not trying to inflate this. I type Frontier Internet, house service, Junmar, 10 months, or 79 hours, 790 hours. I flip through photos in a little burst of annoyance until I find a shot of a receipt from last summer. Paris had texted me, front looks sad, at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I'd gone to Lowe's at 10:30. There it is, patch and repair, $24.98. The year before that, I bought a cheaper soil mix, $22.37. The summer before that, the bag with the aggressive cartoon grass on it, $24.38. I type lawn patch mixes, 3 summers, $24.98. 2037, $24.38. $71, $73, then the hose. I remember standing in their driveway in February, hands numb, twisting the cracked connector and watching water bead down my sleeve. I pulled into a hardware store the next day on my lunch break and bought the mid-range one because the cheap ones kink. Receipt says 19 times 27. I type, new hose, Feb, 19 times 27. At the bottom, I add the total sell, because of course I do. 605 bobbers, $790, 7173, 19 times 27, 46 hours hour. I stare at the number until it feels real, not like a feeling, but like a ledger. I take screenshots of the spreadsheet and tuck them into Boundaries, a ledger, along with a PDF of each receipt. Then I unmute the family thread. I write, I'm not paying for what I don't own. If you want help, it's a loan in writing, and you'll reimburse the expenses I've covered. Total is 786. I can send receipts. It sends as 3 clean gray bubbles. The dots appear, disappear, appear again. Paris, you're disgusting. It's family. Mom, we don't keep score, Cassandra. You know that. Dad, a minute later, this is not the time to nickel and dime. Help now, we'll sort out later. I type, I am helping. By making it clear, I attach a photo of the spreadsheet header and nothing else. Paris again. You seriously put grass on a bill? For real? I don't respond. I put the phone face down on the counter and pull chicken thighs from the fridge. Salt, pepper, a dusting of paprika, roasting pan. The kitchen warms up, and with it something unhitches in my chest. I set a timer and boil green beans. When the timer dings, I eat at my small table and let the phone buzz to itself on the counter. When I finally pick it up, there are more messages I don't need. Paris's hope you feel good about yourself has a typo in yourself. Mom has sent a prayer hands emoji I can't interpret anymore. My email chimes. New sender, Compliance Maple Ridge, heyo@org. Subject, Maple Ridge HOA. Notice of violation and fine. I open it. There's a letterhead scanned as a PDF. It's from someone named Jude Kent, Compliance. During routine inspection on 327, vegetative overgrowth and lack of lawn maintenance were observed at address. 2 photos embedded, dandelions coughed up through the front beds, grass tall enough to throw shadows. A fine of $200 has been assessed. Please correct within 7 days to avoid further action. A hearing is scheduled for 4/8 at 9:00 a.m. should the violation remain unresolved. My stomach drops, not because I'm surprised, but because the clock is now on paper. I scroll back to check the date. Routine inspection 2 days ago. Of course, I used to mow on Saturdays. I didn't last weekend. I forward the email to the group thread with, this is addressed to the owner. 3 dots, nothing. After a minute, Dad replies, can you at least take care of the yard? Your sister is under a lot of stress. I type, I'm not the owner, and attach the deed photo he sent earlier, the one where he wrote, we're doing this for her future. I set my phone down again and rinse my plate. The dishwasher hums. The email sits open on my screen, firm and impersonal. It's not a family argument. It's a rule. And it's not mine to manage. Jude Kent's voicemail lands mid-morning while I'm finishing a prior authorization. Unknown local number. I let it go to voicemail, then listen with my headset half on. Good morning. This is Jude Kent with Maple Ridge HOA Compliance, he says, crisp and neutral. We have an unresolved violation at address with a $200 fine assessed on March 27th. If not corrected within the stated time frame, the matter escalates to additional fines and possible lien for unpaid assessments. Our hearing is scheduled April 8th at 9 a.m. I have this number as a contact of record. If the owner has changed, please update us. Thank you. He leaves a callback number. I forward the voicemail to my email, save the audio in Boundaries HOA, and send a one-line reply to the HOA address from last night. The owner has changed to Paris Stevens. Please address future notices to her, with the deed photo attached. Then I dropped the HOA email and voicemail into the family thread with, Jude from HOA called. Paris, you need to handle. Dad replies first by forwarding the same voicemail like I didn't already attach it. Under it, can you just handle the lawn? Your sister's overwhelmed, I answer. I'm not the owner. And attach the deed he sent as a brag yesterday. No emojis. Paris finally shows life. A photo of the orange water disconnection notice on the door that I already saved from the neighbor. Happy now? She writes. I don't touch that. I don't explain that the notice existed before I said anything. I don't argue about happy. I copy a phone number from my notes and open my messages to the neighbor whose number I saved years ago as Maple Ridge next door. I change the contact name to Heath, Maple Ridge, and type, Hey Heath, it's Cassandra from across the street a while back. If Paris asks, please give her Triangle Yard Care's number, 919-55-0143. They do a basic Mauer blow for $45. Thanks. He replies 2 minutes later, Hey, got it. I can stick the card in the screen door too. That works, I text. Appreciate it. At lunch, I sit in my car with the AC on and scroll to the water portal again out of reflex. The 68-14 is still red, the same yellow banner, disconnection scheduled. If unpaid, I let the screen go dark and eat a granola bar. Back inside, my inbox pings. Reply from HOA. Thank you, Cassandra. We will update our records. Notice resent to owner. Clean, efficient. I forward that to the thread without comment. Dad calls after that. I don't pick up. He texts instead. We're not asking you to pay the taxes. This is just the lawn. It's the same thing, I type. It's the property. Typing dots. Then, your sister had clients today. Be reasonable. I am, I write. I sent a lawn service. I paste Triangle Yard Care again. Paris reacts with a thumbs down. At 3:15, my clinic line rings, and the rest of the afternoon disappears into CPT codes and a mom who wants to yell about a deductible I didn't set. When I come up for air, there's a screenshot from Paris of the HOA email addressed to her now. Subject, notice, of violation and fine. Jude is harassing me because of you, she says. I type, he's doing his job. Call the lawn service. No reply. After work, I stop at the grocery store for paper towels and garlic. In the parking lot, I scroll on muscle memory. A text from Heath. A photo from across the street. A guy in a neon shirt sliding a white business card into the doorframe above the orange notice. Done. Thanks, I send back. I drive home, unload, and set the garlic on my counter. The hallway outside my apartment smells like someone's takeout. I'm wrestling a paper towel pack into the pantry when someone knocks. 3 quick knocks. Familiar cadence. I check the peephole. Mom on my doormat, eyes rimmed red, hair pulled back like she came straight from the house, not from her job. I open the door because ignoring her in person feels like a bigger thing than I'm ready to do. She steps in without waiting, looks around like she's never been inside, even though she helped me carry a futon up these stairs last spring. Hi, I say, and I keep my voice neutral. Don't do this, she says, skipping hello. Don't ruin your relationship with your sister over a bill. I set the paper towels on the counter and take a breath that I hope doesn't sound like a sigh. I'm not ruining anything, I say. I'm just not funding it. She's drowning, Mom says, palms up. She had clients. She couldn't get to the water office. The HOA is threatening liens. Your father is beside himself. Triangle Yard Care will cut it tomorrow, I say. She can pay them. The water can be paid online in 2 minutes. The HOA gave 7 days. Mom shakes her head like I'm missing a secret code. This isn't you, she says softly. You've always stepped in. That's the problem, I say. I pour her a glass of water because my hands need something to do. She takes it and doesn't drink. Just this once, she says. Pay the $68 and call the lawn guy. We'll put you on the title later. I swear, we'll make it right. There it is, the promise that keeps the machine running. I lean my hip against the counter and meet her eyes. I don't want later, I say. I want respect now. She inhales like she might cry. I don't want you girls not speaking. Then tell her to call the number, I say, nodding at the phone in her hand. Tell her to pay her bill. I make tea because it gives my hands something to do. Mom sits at my little table like a guest in a waiting room, clutching her phone and a tissue. I'm not ruining it, I say, sliding the mug toward her. I'm refusing to fund it. She flinches like the word is sharp. It's not funding, Cassandra. It's family. You've always been the one who steps in. Remember when you were little and you'd give Paris your allowance for the book fair? You have such a big heart. I sit across from her. I also remember being told we'd make it right later. We will, she says quickly, the tissue crumpling in her fist. We'll put you on the title later, once things settle. Your dad said, that tells me everything, I say, calm. You keep dangling later, so I'll keep doing now. She looks past me to the sink, like an answer might be hiding in the dish rack. Your sister is overwhelmed. She's not like you. She gets paralyzed. She can call a number and pay a bill, I say, or she can choose not to and live with what happens. Mom blinks hard. I don't want you girls not speaking. Then help her do the responsible thing, I say. I'm not cutting her off. I'm setting how I help. She wraps her hands around the mug and doesn't drink. You're changing. I'm growing up, I say. You can be mad at that. When she leaves, she hugs me like it's a bargaining chip. I hug her back because she's my mother. In the hall, she turns and tries once more. Just this once. I've done just this once for years, I say. I'm done. The next morning at the clinic, I slip into Evangeline's cubicle during a lull. She's got a yogurt parfait and a stack of denials open. She lifts an eyebrow at my face. Family circus? She asks. Full 3-ring, I say. I explain the deed, the bills, the HOA, and the ledger total. I keep my voice even, the way I do when I explain an EOB to a parent. I told them if they want help, it's a loan in writing, and they reimburse the $186 I've already covered. Evangeline spins her chair to her keyboard. Okay. Let's make it real on paper. She Googles and pulls up a simple promissory note template. No fluff, just blanks. Lender's name, borrower's name, principal amount, repayment term, interest, if any. No interest, I say. I don't want to profit off my sister. She nods. Add a clause that any future assistance is itemized and due within 30 days, and late fees, even like $10 keeps it from being optional. I read while she types. Name spelled right. House address on the line that asks what the funds relate to. Principal, $1,186. Repayment, due in full within 60 days of signing. Late fee, $10 after 5 days late. Future assistance, separate itemized agreements, due within 30 days of invoice. Signatures, lines for both of us with date. She leans back. E-sign or wet signatures? Let's give her no excuses, I say. E-sign. We upload it to a sign service the clinic uses for onboarding, and I send it to my personal email, then forward the link to Paris with one sentence. If you want help, this is how. I put my phone face down and go back to claims. 30 minutes later, my screen lights up with Paris's reply, Lamau, absolutely not. Then a scroll of text about me being cold, about clients canceling because of all this stress, about how she doesn't have $86 lying around, about how I've always had a good job, and Don't get how hard it is. I type, loans are in writing. I'll help with a loan agreement. Then I delete the second sentence, the one that wanted to argue about my job, about sandals I returned last summer so I could cover a bill nobody thanked me for. I send just, if you want help, sign the agreement. No reply. The group thread stays quiet except for a random meme Dad forwards, like we're all on the same page. At 4, I file one more prior auth and shut my monitor off. On my way out, Evangeline catches my elbow. You okay? I feel like a fraud, I say. Like I'm being mean because I'm not sweeping up. You're being an adult, she says. There's a difference. Traffic is sticky on Glenwood. I resist the habit loop of turning into Maple Ridge and go home instead. I roast sweet potatoes and scroll job postings I don't need just to unclench my brain. At 8:17 p.m., an email pops up from the county tax office. Subject line in block letters. Final notice. Property tax due. It's addressed to my dad but CC'd to Paris and me. When I lived at the house during the pandemic, he added my email to the property tax account for paperless notices. I never took it off. The body is simple. Amount due, $1,746. Penalty applied. Payment required to avoid further penalty and possible collection action. There's a link. There's a due date that isn't today but feels close enough to breathe on. 30 seconds later, the group chat lights up with Dad forwarding the same email, like we didn't all just get it. Can someone handle this tonight? He writes. I take a breath and type, one more time, ask the owner. The tax email sits in the thread like a grenade nobody wants to touch. Dad asks, can someone handle this tonight? I type, ask the owner, and put my phone on the coffee table face down. In the morning, there's a tiny red penalty applied flag on the county portal when I check it over coffee. I shouldn't be checking, but I know how these clocks work. The HOA hearing notice is still on Paris's email from Jude, April 8th at 9:15 a.m., a week away. The water portal still shows 68 while 14 past due with the yellow disconnection banner. At 9:12 a.m., Paris texts me separately. Just pay this and I'll Venmo later. I stare at the screen until the impulse to fix it passes. Then I type, loans are in writing. Autopays must be in your name by Friday. She fires back. Why are you like this? It's literally taxes and a water bill. Exactly, I write. Owner handles the property. Long pause. The 3 dots pop up, disappear, pop up again. Then nothing. I go to work. Our waiting room is jammed. Someone rescheduled 3 physicals into the same hour. I process a stack of claims and eat a granola bar at my desk. Around noon, Dad texts the group. A photo of a mower in the bed of a landscaper's truck, captioned, we called a guy. It's not Triangle Yard Care, but the grass will get cut. Good. At 1:06, an email from HOA. Reminder, violation hearing. Scheduled for 8 at 9:00 a.m. Please reply if violation corrected prior to hearing. Addressed to Paris now. I forward it to the thread without comment. 10 minutes later, Paris replies in the group, I have an actual job. Stop with all these emails. I don't tell her Jude's emails are automated. I open the e-sign portal we used yesterday and check the status of the promissory note. Still, doc sent awaiting signature. I click resend. Then I copy the link and text it directly to Paris. Per our conversation, agreement. 60 days to repay 186 errors. Future help itemized, due in 30 days. Late fee $10 after 5 days. No interest. Another long silence. Then, what about the taxes? Taxes are the owner's responsibility, I type. If you want me to front anything, it's a loan, in writing. She sends 3 eye roll emojis. Fine. Send the form. I already did, I write, and paste the link again. I take a prior auth call. When I hang up, the e-sign portal pings. Document has been signed. I open it to make sure it's real. Her signature is a neat loop, dated today. The terms are exactly what Evangeline and I wrote. My shoulders drop a fraction. Paris texts. Okay, I signed. How do I set up the utilities? Dad tried and it wants account numbers. I type back. Here are links. Water, Relatinsk of water. Click Start Move Service and put the house address. You'll need Dad's account number to transfer. If not, call the number on the orange notice. Put your card on file for autopay. Internet. I canceled mine at the end of the cycle. You need to set up a new account in your name. Frontier.com's new service. Pick a plan, schedule installation if needed. Pest control, Clear Shield, 91955-122. Tell them you're the owner now and add your card. HOA. Jude's email is compliance@mapleridgexhoa.org. Reply that lawn is being cut. Send a photo when it's done. He'll note it. A minute passes, then, what about the $68? You can pay water online with a card, I write. There's a pay now button. No, like, are you going to help with it and I pay you back? New loans are itemized and due in 30 days, I write. Sign one if you want me to front it. She sends back NVM, then this is so extra. Being the owner is extra, I type. I delete it and send nothing. At 3, Evangeline leans over my cubicle wall and whispers, Progress? She signed, I whisper back. Now we see if she does the rest. Paper makes it real, she says, tapping her keyboard like a drum beat. You did good. On my break, I check the water portal. The past due balance is still red. There's a make payment button that is not my button to press. I put my phone away and refill the copier paper. At 5:22, as I'm shutting down my monitor, my phone buzzes. Paris has sent 3 things in a row. First, a notification from the e-sign portal that she downloaded the signed agreement. Second, paid the taxes. Third, a screenshot of the county receipt. Confirmation number, 1,046 hours. Date 4/1, paid by Paris S. I sit down again like my knees forgot standing. I forward the tax receipt to the thread with thank you. Dad reacts with a thumbs up and then knew you girls would figure it out. Mom sends a heart. Proud of you both. Before I can decide how that sits, another image arrives from Paris. A photo of a check, blue bank logo in the corner, made out to me for now $486. In the memo line, she's written, reimburse. Dropping this in your mailbox tonight, she writes. Then, almost as an afterthought, how do I set Frontier up LOL? Do they do weekends? Saturday starts with a blue check in my mailbox and a text from Paris. Dropped it off. I take a photo of the check, Holland gives $486, memo, reimburse, and mobile deposit it at my kitchen counter while my coffee brews. The e-signed copy of our agreement prints with a hollow hum. I tuck it into a folder with a single page I typed up last night, a list of what needs to live in her name now, and the dates. At 9 Noor, I park on the street in Maple Ridge and walk up the front path I used to weed by hand. The orange water notice is still taped to the door, crinkled at the edges. Paris is on the porch step, hoodie up, arms folded. She looks past me at my car like she expected something fancier. You got the check? She asks. I deposited it, I say. I hold up the folder, printout of what you signed, and a list of things to set up. Water, internet, pest control. Due dates. She takes the folder and doesn't look at it. Dad said the lawn guy is coming between 1 and 3. Good, I say. HOA's hearing is on the 8th if it's not corrected. She rolls her eyes but doesn't argue. I paid the water last night, she says, like she's letting me off the hook for not doing it. Put my card on autopay. Good, I say again. I pull my house key off my ring, the spare that sat there for years. It looks wrong in my hand. Familiar weight, wrong moment. I hold it out. This should be with the owner. Her face flickers. So you really don't even want a key? I don't own it, I say. If you need me to come by for anything, you can let me in. She slides the key into her hoodie pocket like contraband. Whatever. Mom and Dad come around the side yard carrying a brownie pan covered in foil like we're at a potluck. Mom's face is hopeful. Dad looks relieved, like the visual of us not yelling is a cure. Look at you girls, Mom says, too bright. Working it out. I brought brownies. Thanks, I say. Paris says nothing. Dad clears his throat. We're proud of you both, he says, the words almost a script. This is what family does. Paris hands me the folder back without the key inside. Do I need to sign anything else? You've already signed, I say. Repayment within 60 days. If you want help with anything new, we'll do a separate itemized note due in 30 days. Yeah, she says. Non-committal. I have clients Tuesday. Can the internet install be then? You'll have to schedule with Frontier, I say. Their weekend slots book fast. She flips my list over. What's ClearShield? Pest control, I say. They come monthly. I canceled my card. You can call and add yours if you want to keep them. Paris tucks the list into the folder like she might lose it on purpose. Dad said he'd cover the HOA fine. Dad blinks. Caught. We'll talk about it, he says. Let's get the lawn cut first. Mom sets the brownies on the porch rail and touches my elbow. I knew you'd come through, she says, in a whisper meant to land soft. I came to return the key, I say, and to hand over the paper. Paris peels the orange water notice off the door suddenly, like it offended her. She folds it until it's a small square and sticks it in her pocket with the key. Happy? She says. I'm relieved, I say. We stand in a small, awkward cluster. Traffic hums on the main road. A cardinal bounces in the azaleas. I don't fill the silence with the old comfort talk. I don't tell Paris she's doing great. I don't tell Dad I'll call Jude. Mom tries because she can't not. We'll do a big family dinner when this is all calm, she says. Celebrate. Maybe next weekend? Let's get through this week, I say. Before I leave, I hand Paris one more thing. A single page with 3 bullets. Water autopay, confirmed 4-1, HOA hearing 4-8 at 9 a.m. Reply to Jude with photo after Mao. Frontier, call to schedule install. My service ends at the end of this cycle. She glances at it and nods. We don't hug. I go down the steps, and I don't look back until I'm at my car. Mom and Dad are already fussing with the brownies. Paris is tapping on her phone. At 2:07, Heath texts me a photo from across the street. 2 guys in neon shirts pushing mowers in parallel lines, grass falling in neat combed rows. They're here, he writes. Thanks, I send back. At 3:18, an email pings from Jude. Compliance restored. Address. Thank you for correcting the vegetative overgrowth. The scheduled hearing has been canceled. The $200 fine remains outstanding and may be paid via your owner portal. I forward it to the group. Dad replies, Great. We'll take care of the fine Monday. Paris sends a thumbs up. Mom replies with a string of hearts, and then, separately to me, dinner tomorrow? Just us girls? I think about it, then type, not tomorrow, maybe next week. As I'm leaving Maple Ridge, Mom catches me at the driveway. She leans into my window, voice low. You'll still be there for her, right? When there's respect, I say. It lands like a period. She nods, the smallest movement, and steps back so I can go. I turn onto the main road and feel, for once, like the weight on the passenger seat is finally mine and no one else's. By Monday, the lawn is a neat buzz cut and the orange notice is gone. At 9:12 a.m., An email from the HOA portal lands in my inbox. Payment received in $200 fine. I didn't pay it. I can see the last 4 digits of Dad's card in the receipt. I drop the PDF into Boundaries HOA and archive the thread. 10 minutes later, Jude sends a final note. Account in good standing. No further action required. Clean. Boring. Exactly how I want it. That afternoon, Paris texts me a screenshot of the city water account. Autopay. Active. Beneath it, one word. Done. Thanks, I write. She replies, Frontier can install Thursday between 12:4. Is someone going to be home? You will, I type. They'll text you a window. A beat. Lowell, right. Thursday at 1:38 p.m., a photo arrives of a modem on the hallway table, wires looped like pasta. Wi-Fi set, Paris writes. A second later, a screenshot of her Frontier account page. Plan name. First draft date. I save both to Boundaries Your Utilities, then close the folder. My name is nowhere on any of it. It feels like a room I finally got to walk out of and lock behind me. At the clinic, I catch Evangeline in the break room rinsing a mug. Paper worked, I say, a small grin sneaking out. HOA updated, taxes paid, utilities transferred. I deposited the reimbursement. She bumps my shoulder with hers. Look at you enforcing terms like a boss. How are you sleeping? Better, I say, and it's true. I woke up at 2 a.m. last night, checked my phone, saw no family emergencies, and went back to sleep without inventing any. On Friday, right after lunch, Paris sends another screenshot. ClearShield's customer portal with her name at the top. Service scheduled for next Wednesday, card on file. Bugs taken care of, she says. No, thanks. No emoji. Good, I reply. The group chat, once a pinball machine, shifts into normal family noise. Mom forwards a recipe for sheet pan fajitas. Dad sends a photo of a sunset from the Home Depot parking lot. Nobody asked me for a card number. Saturday morning, I log into the county tax portal one last time out of habit. A green checkmark sits where the red penalty was. Balance, 0.00, paid by Paris S. on 04/01. I take one screenshot, not to build a case, to close a file, and drag it into Boundaries Alt Taxes. Then I right-click the Boundaries folder and compress it into a zip, like a project finished at work. I don't delete it. I don't need to look at it every day either. Paris texts me later. Do you have the lawn guy's number again? I paste Triangle Yard Care without comment. She sends back K. In the afternoon, Mom calls about nothing in particular and then slips in. Your dad's truck needs tires. They're so expensive right now. Loans are in writing, I say. Same tone I use when I tell a parent a copay is due. I'm braced for the sigh, the wobble. There's a pause, and then she says, never mind, it's fine. How's your gardenia? I smile because that's new. It's not dead yet. We talk about plants and recipes. We don't talk about titles, or later. On Sunday, I meet Evangeline for coffee at a place that smells like orange peel and cardamom. She asks, any fallout? Quiet, I say. She sent me an autopay confirmation with done. That was it. That's huge, she says. Sometimes quiet is the win. On my way home, my phone buzzes with a text from Paris. A photo of the autopay page again, this time with all three. Water, internet, pest. She writes simply, done. No punctuation, no sugar. It's enough. I thumbs up it and keep driving. Monday, a paper check clears and my bank app pings. $1,386 was deposited. I turn off 3 old reminders in my phone I'd stopped seeing because they'd become background noise. Check pest control draft. Call internet before due. Mo? I replace them with one new calendar event 2 months out labeled Note Due Paris. It's not a threat, it's a line item. 2 minutes later, I take it off because she already paid in full. My calendar goes back to work things and a dentist appointment. At work, a mom hands me a thank you note for helping with her claim last month. I stick it to my monitor with a piece of tape and realize my chest isn't tight. I'm not waiting for my phone to erupt with someone else's emergency I created by fixing the last one. That evening, Dad texts the group, "Cookout next Sunday?" Paris replies with a hot dog emoji. Mom adds, "Let's keep it easy." I type, "I can bring a salad," and mean it. There's no subtext hidden in the potato salad anymore. Before bed, I set my phone on Do Not Disturb and don't flinch at the idea of missing something. I close my eyes and the list in my head is mine. Grocery store, laundry, call grandma about her birthday. None of it involves locking myself back into autopays for a house I don't own. Respect or distance? It turns out most people choose respect when distance is real. I sleep through the night and wake up to light sliding under the blinds. My phone quiet. My own life exactly where I left it.